The story is set in 1956, 4 years after the tragedy in Romania. That night, at a Terascon church in France, the priest and an altar boy named Jack were preparing for a mass that was about to begin. The priest asked Jack to prepare red wine as one of the conditions for the event, because according to Catholic belief, it was a substitute for the holy blood of Jesus. After the Mass, Jack returns to the cellar to store the remaining wine. However, something strange happened. Jack felt like someone was watching him from the darkness, and suddenly, the wine in the glass container shattered inexplicably, terrifying him. Jack immediately reported the incident to the priest. Inside the warehouse, they heard a noise that made them suspect that someone had entered the church from the darkness. They saw a pair of eyes burning from the darkness. And suddenly, Father burst into violent burn. The story moves to a convent where Sister Irene lives, who has devoted her life there. In this monastery, Irene has a close friend named Sister Deborah, a new character in this story. Sister Deborah is known as a rather mischievous and unruly figure, but only Irene can get close to her. Their conversations are often intense. From here, we also get a little insight into Irene's family background, where he has a mother who loves him very much. Back in France, there was a gardener named Maurice, who used to work as a gardener in Romania before moving to France. Maurice's hobby remains the same, which is gardening, and he also works as a technician who can repair things. Today, Maurice works as a gardener in a dormitory that used to be a monastery before it was converted into a dormitory. Here, Maurice develops a close relationship with a widowed boarding teacher, Ava, and her daughter, Sophie. One day, a wine delivery boy who was doing his duty heard a strange noise in one of the rooms where fermented wine was stored. Intrigued, he searches for the source of the sound and finds Maurice, who acts in a strange way.
Are you okay?
Maurice was silent when summoned by the boy, then saw the appearance of the attacking demon Valak. Unfortunately, the boy died in a terrible way. Back at Sister Irene, in her dream, she asks Maurice for help, and it is seen that a bad cycle has plagued her body.
Save me, sister.
Irene realized that this was a bad sign. The next morning, Irene was summoned by the bishop to see him immediately. The bishop of the Vatican arrived with the specific purpose of meeting with Irene, who had been previously suspected by Irene that the bishop's arrival must bring bad news. Sure enough, the bishop told Irene about the many tragedies that occurred, including the tragic deaths of priests and nuns on the terraces of the French Cône. This pattern of tragedy extends throughout Europe, all starting from the tragedy in Romania 4 years earlier. The bishop explained that the demon once locked up by Irene has now returned. He also informs that the priest who was the best expert in dealing with demons has passed away, leaving Irene as the only one who knows how to fight the demon Valak. The bishop believes that Irene has the ability to investigate and uncover the true purpose of the demon.
You are the only person alive who has dealt with something like this. The church would like you to investigate.
Irene begins his mission alone, but on the train, he discovers that Deborah will secretly come with him.
Our sister. I was afraid I almost hopped on the wrong train. What are you doing here?
Deborah wanted to join the mission to understand the miracle that was happening, even though it was hard to believe that red wine could be the blood of Christ, as she had heard from a pastor. Irene explained that everything has to do with faith, that only people who have a very strong faith can believe that wine can be the blood of Christ. However, not everyone can reach such a level of faith. Although Deborah had become a nun, there were still things she couldn't be sure about. Erin hopes that on this mission trip, Deborah can find her faith.
I just hope you can find your faith when the time comes.
Just getting into character.
All right, girls.
During school, Sophie is always bullied by a bunch of naughty children who like to prank her.
Relax, Sophie. We're not going to do anything. Cross my heart.
Sophie is forced to participate in a game of theirs where she is taken to a disused chapel room. The room was once a chapel, a place of prayer for church members. Once inside, they play a game to see demons. Sophie was asked to look through a glass window with a picture of a sheep. One of them said that if sunlight shone on the glass and hit the eye of the sheep, Sophie would be able to see the appearance of a demon. The trusting Sophie followed their direction. Her eyes kept falling towards the window. They deliberately left Sophie there alone. Soon, Sophie realized that she had been framed. He tried to open the door, but it was already locked from the outside. Strangeness began to occur when he saw that there was something behind the milk cloth, but it turned out to be just a statue. Morris heard Sophie's scream and opened the door for her. Sophie had managed to get out, but she looked still scared, and her eyes kept falling towards the room. Although it was only for a while, Sophie saw that there was a figure of a nun in the room.
Excuse us. Sure.
The film moves to Erin and Deborah arriving at the Terascon church. There, Erin meets one of the nuns and begins an investigation. They stood right under the burning Father Neuron.
This is where we found him.
Soon, they see a teenage boy approaching them, who turns out to be Jack, an altar boy who witnessed the tragedy. She gave Erin a necklace of hers.
Sister?
Of course.
In the church, Erin saw a painting of Saint Lucy, who was once a saint and protector of the blind and killed by a stray. They burned him, but his body could not burn, and they took his eyes before killing him. They continue the conversation and learn that in addition to Jack, another altar boy who witnessed the events of that night, there was also a man who used to live in the church and is now gone. According to the nun's information, the man was an explorer from Romania, as Irene had guessed. The nun did not know Morris's current whereabouts. Irene is then reminded of the previous incident. Maurice returned to Irene only to save her.
You saved my life.
In the first event, we learn that Irene has the ability to see supernatural things, and he realizes that part of Valak's demon has entered Morris's body. Although Valak is still confined in hell, a small part of him is in Morris's body, making him a puppet controlled by Valak. On that night, Irene and Deborah decide to stay at a hotel. While Deborah takes care of their inn, Irene comes out uneasy. She accidentally sees Jack playing ball with his friends.
Jacques?
And tries to ask some questions related to the incident that happened to Father Neuron. However, before they could talk, Jack went back to play with the others. As Irene tries to chase Jack, suddenly, the group of children disappears. Leaving behind a silent atmosphere, Irene sees Jack running alone at a crossroads, but loses track of him. Then, something strange happened on the magazine shelf nearby. The magazine turned page by page and formed the image of a nun. Irene approached the nun's room, and suddenly Valak appeared. For a moment, Irene also saw someone wearing a veil, who turned out to be Saint Lucy. Irene witnessed the tragedy that befell Saint Lucy when her eyes were gouged out. In addition, Irene also saw the incarnation of the nun of the demon who brought an ancient rally. In Irene's dream, she also saw a housekeeper heading towards Maurice, who was standing facing the wall like a trance. Irene saw a small child who was under the control of a demon. The old woman who was the dormitory builder also died miserably there. After Irene woke up from his stupor, she felt that the incident was approaching. She also learns that the demon Valak is looking for an ancient rally that has not yet been discovered. One of the reasons Valak didn't kill Maurice was because he used Maurice's body to search for the rally. Deborah just remembers that last night they ran into Jack, who told her that Irene fainted on the street. Jack gives him an envelope containing his crucifix necklace that once belonged to Father Neril. Irene was suspicious of the symbol on the necklace, having seen similar symbols before.
I think I saw that on one of the victims. Look. It's a connection.
Irene's task is to figure out the meaning of the symbol. Fortunately, she has a friend who works in the Catholic archives in Paris.
It's headed.
How are we gonna do that?
I have a friend in the Catholic archives.
Without delaying any longer, Irene and Deborah went straight there, and it turned out that the symbol was the symbol of the St. Lucy family.
It's a family crest.
Whose family?
St. Lucy of Syracuse.
Hearing this, Irene remembered his vision, and finally realized that what the devil was looking for was the eyes of St. Lucy. The history of St. Lucy's death states that St. Lucy's family was chased and hid in various corners of the world, and Sanusi's eyes were carried by direct descendants of St. Lucy, who kept her whereabouts a secret. In theory, the reason why Valak sought St. Lucy's eyes was because Valak used to be an angel who rebelled against God, so his power was taken away and given to the saints in exchange. Having that power means having power that can disappear, and if Valak manages to get the eye, his power will be even greater. However, if Irene manages to get the eye, then the rally will be a powerful weapon for Irene to fight Valak. The problem now is how Irene can find the existence of the rally. From some archived records of ancient rally venues, the rally was hidden by a monk named Radar John, who buried his rally in an estuary in St. Mary's Abbey, about an hour's drive from where they were.
Is it still a monastery?
No, it was sold to a winery. And now... it's a boarding school.
That night, Irene went straight to the dormitory, while Maurice, Shopi, and Ava were there. When Maurice was unfamiliar dancing with Shopi and Ava, Maurice suddenly looked strange, and on his shoulders was seen an inverted cross symbol. Irene and Deborah arrived at the same time, and finally Maurice and Irene met again after a long time.
Sister. Maurice. Maurice.
Okay, this is Irene.
No,
My
Maurice.
French is gonna
Maurice, no,
help
you need to...
We got to go now.
Get away from them!
Soon after, Maurice started acting strangely.
sister.
When Aaron tried to chase the possessed Maurice, he easily fought Aaron off. Aaron did not give up and started reciting exorcism prayers. The prayer was able to restrain the demon, and Deborah managed to hit Maurice until he fainted.
Bruh.
Aaron and Deborah tie Maurice up in a separate room before returning to rescue Shopi with Ava. Aaron must quickly discover the ancient relic before the demon finds it. The ancient relic is buried in a chapel room, but the problem is that Aaron doesn't know where it is. Shopi remembers that window glass, when exposed to light, will reflect the light and show a point. Deborah comes out with a flashlight to shine a light on her window, and finally Aaron finds where the relic is buried.
We got it!
Meanwhile, dormitory children heard noise above their rooms.
There's someone upstairs.
Huh?
Who are you?
What the hell?
Deborah manages to dodge the attack from the demon and break into the dormitory children's room. Moved to Aaron's place. The presence of Maurice, who has been possessed, is a surprise for Aaron and Ava, who are still with them. Maurice is hunting for an ancient relic that is now in Aaron's hands. Aaron had used the relic as a weapon to fight the demon, but unfortunately, it slipped out of his grasp, and then Shope was quick to pick it up. Meanwhile, Maurice is still busy fighting Aaron, and Shope tries to escape up to a tower. Deborah and the dormitories are still hiding in a room, while several demons resembling dead people hunt them down one by one. Shope continues to be chased by Maurice towards the tower, and when Sophie is cornered, the bell in the tower is cut off and falls with Maurice. However, the situation was not over yet, as Maurice attacked Shope again, and Shope kicked Maurice, which made him fall down. Aaron managed to find Shope in the tower, and eventually regained the relic. When the demon attacks again with the power of the relic, Aaron is able to fight the demon in Maurice's body. Deborah came to help. The demon managed to take a rally and gain power equal to the power of an angel, before finally managing to come out and appear before them. Valak began to attack one by one of them. Sophie tries to escape, but is instead trapped among the wine barrels. Meanwhile, Aaron comes face to face with the demon Valak. The boarding boys are still struggling to dodge attacks from the sheep-headed demon, while flames are seen starting to burn Aaron. When Aaron is no longer helpless, he is suddenly shown to his mother and the shadow of Saint Lucy. Like getting a miracle, Aaron becomes immune to fire, similar to what Saint Lucy experienced before. Aaron managed to escape the devil's entanglement, and the room shook violently. When wine barrels spilled, Aaron remembered the miracle by which wine was turned into the blood of Christ. Aaron then invited Deborah to pray with him while touching the wine. Meanwhile, the shadows of his mother and Saint Lucy continue to appear, as if to be a sign that Aaron is actually a descendant of Saint Lucy. And suddenly arrived. Wine turned into the blood of Christ and destroyed the demon Valak. Not long after, Maurice regained consciousness and managed to survive the death that entangled him, after passing through obstacles that were not easy. Shopi and Ava also finally got back together. Erin is happy to see their intimacy, even though she has actually had feelings for Maurice in the past. Thus, the film ends peacefully,